Hello aspirants, welcome to Pragyān Veda IAS. We are on a mission to simplify the UPSC civil service exam preparation, bringing with years of experience by going through this process that the UPSC demands. And we are here to add value to your preparation by reducing the figuring out process which consumes years of youthful energy and time. This presentation, as the theme goes here, the information is profuse, knowledge is scarce, and wisdom is rare. We are living in an infodemic world. There is information everywhere, on the internet, in books, in the industry, everywhere. So to synthesize and simplify the information that is out there and to condense that into a knowledge which is consumable and to be able to retain and reproduce, to get that required wisdom that the UPSC demands and to be able to sail through this exam and come out with flying colors is what is a motivation of every sincere aspirant. So we are here to facilitate the same. This presentation will give a very big picture or a bird's eye view of how a UPSC journey looks like and how an aspirant should frame his mindset and strategize to come out successfully. So just a quick glance of what we are trying to do is to systematically synthesize and simplify the civil services preparation methodology by having a niche training model where a concentrated guidance program is given to candidates which will help them avoiding hit and trial methods of years of unsuccessful attempts. So at times, more than the knowledge, the process itself, if not understood in the right way, ends up consuming time, right? So that is the whole idea, that we are trying to make it very systematic. And there is also an initiative called Plan B, wherein aspirants who have exercised multiple attempts, say 3 to 4 years, and would like to have a social security net of having a private skill that can help them get into corporate sector. So we are organizing this initiative called Plan B, which will help many aspirants to go with their preparation as well as a job in the private sector parallelly. And other free initiatives that we run are going to run on YouTube are Prelims Synthesis, as the prelims is fast approaching. It is a 60 days thematic revision for prelims cutting across the whole syllabus that will help them thematically organize their content and revise and be ready to go and sit in the prelims exam, right? And the other initiative as far as the mains is concerned is called Mains Manthanam, the churning of the contemporary affairs and to get a hold on the issues that are appearing in the TVs, in the current issues, right, in newspapers, etc. Cutting across all GS papers, of course. So these two initiatives will cover the prelims and mains very systematically from current affairs point of view and static point of view. And the third initiative called the Social Thinker, it is an applied sociological analysis on current issues. It will add a lot of value to people who have sociology as their optional. At times there is a lot of static knowledge out there in sociology field, but the current sociological analysis on the current affairs is missing. So this initiative will add a lot of value in preparing for their optional. And just to give a quick glance on what is the vision and mission, what Pragyān Veda is aiming at, is that we want to be premier knowledge hub, imparting knowledge to the youths and professionals who are preparing themselves to get into the market of both private and public sectors. Public sectors via civil services, UPSC and state PCS, it comes out. And for the private sector, the necessary skills, which sometimes is greatly lacking in the education system, especially in the engineering and other vocational courses. We ourselves working in the industry can impart that knowledge so that especially the civil services aspirants can get benefited and have very sensible social security to prepare peacefully for this exam, or if not, at least they can thrive in the private sector as well. And the mission is we counsel people at all levels from various backgrounds, especially focusing on the UPSC and training professionals. And what are some values that we imbibe is that we add value to their lives by serving knowledge. it is said that rather than giving fish, you should make them how to catch fish. So imparting knowledge is needed. So being a perpetual learner is one more a very crucial value that we imbibe, that as the time changes, the technology changes, issue changes, society changes, we need to get updated and keep ourselves on the sociological platform, right? So therefore one can never say that I have stopped learning. So in fact, we learn from womb to tomb, right? So being a perpetual learner is such a key aspect that we try to imbibe, and consistency is the key. Be it any field, consistent continuous efforts for a long period of time yield result. Therefore, and it is so true for UPSC, and this can happen when you have attention to details, and attention to detail is a sign of love. Understanding things not just on a something which is imposed, but something out of curiosity and love is what stays with us, sticks us, and comes with us for a long time to come. And the last one is the direction is more important than speed. At times we may end up doing so many things in particular way, but if the direction is not correct, then all our efforts go in vain. And therefore it is so true for UPSC kind of exam where direction is so crucial, and minimum efforts with proper direction can yield a great result. So quickly coming to the journey of how UPSC journey takes us as an aspirant is that the Union Public Service Commission has this website, and UPSC expects us to go through this website rather than relying on the secondary sources of information. There is a decrement in the kind of information that may come to us. Therefore it is better to make a good habit to go to UPSC site, open each tab and look at what is in it for us and try to get the relevant information. Especially the tab where examination is there, we have all the resources available for us to keep a hold and make them as a north star, as a guiding principle, and base our study and strategy accordingly. And every year UPSC releases this calendar for that intent only, which gives the prelims, the mains, the whole process, not just of the civil services but of others. And as per the UPSC civil services aspirants need, we can accordingly plan ourselves. And next, coming to the notification. As I said, the UPSC releases notification every year. This year also it has come on 14th Feb. So UPSC releases the number of vacancies. This year we have a satisfactory number of 1056 in the civil services, and the IFS has around 150. As you know, the prelims is combined, or it is integrated for both these exams. So therefore going at least once through this notification, once through, will always be a great advantage for somebody who has started fresh, or even somebody who has spent some years in preparing for this exam, because at times we get confused of what is what. But if we are relying on the proper source which is delineated by UPSC itself, then our awareness is up to date. We lack nowhere. So it is a good idea that we go through this. And what one should look in for the UPSC notification, there is so much content there. So what are we are supposed to look into? So the eligibility criteria that is there, for example, the minimum age, the maximum age, for the category wise age limits, the number of attempts, all this information is very clearly given in the notification. And what is the process of application, what are the stages, the types of civil services and vacancies available that year, that particular year, what is the category wise allocation. We have SCs, STs, general, OBCs, now EWS, physically challenged, all this. So we need to see all those. And even the center of examination, prelims has certain set of examinations, say around 80 plus, and mains has around 20 plus. So carefully selecting them as per our need, and when we're applying for the job or the application, make sure we choose them rightly is so important and so crucial. Age and attempts related info, of course, I talked. Schemes and subjects for preliminary and mains examination. UPSC very transparently openly shares the total syllabus of prelims and mains, subject wise, theme wise, everything. So at times we say the questions came out of syllabus, but if we are just aware and have gone through this syllabus, then we see that it is all in it, and therefore it is a good idea at least for once one should go through this. And what are the different optionals that are available and languages for opting for the papers is all out there. So we need to just make some time to go through this, and provisions for scribe and percentage of disability for somebody who may be physically challenged, and they may go through those details. And the detailed syllabus paper wise, the GS 1 2 3 4 optional, all this detailed syllabus is being put up by the UPSC in the form of UPSC notification. So we should make sure to look into the notification on all these pointers. Now coming to this year's prelims notification, this has already come out and the registrations are happening. The application has begun already on 14th Feb and it lasts till 5th March, and those candidates who feel confident would like to apply or appear for this year's examination, please kindly do so. It's a wonderful opportunity this year. The seats are also satisfactory. So the one-time registration which UPSC has given last year, wanted to streamline the process, so make sure you do at least once. Then they have kind of simplified or streamlined the repetitive method of people submitting the applications every year. Once if you do for multiple attempts, this will follow. And now coming quickly to the UPSC civil services thought process and data. As I said in our value system that we had, it is important to have direction greatly emphasized than even speed. Sometimes we don't understand, we enter the process of civil services preparation and not knowing what is UPSC, what UPSC is expecting, what UPSC wants, what kind of UPSC wants it to be a part of its system. So these pointers that I have put up just to give a glimpse of how UPSC demands and what are our efforts in that direction. As you know, UPSC is a constitutional body. UPSC and civil services are not any kind of job per se, but they are the part of the system, the political system, the governance system. The part 14th of Constitution of India has this UPSC as a constitutional body, and therefore understanding its value and trying to be a part of the system itself is so valuable. And CSE is an integrated preparation process. The prelims, the mains and interview, they are not separate from each other. They are all one. The ultimate aim of the all these stages is to bring out a certain set of category of candidates who can become a part of the system and help in running the system, right? Sometimes we see that prelims are separately people preparing for prelims go in a different direction to prepare, and mains and so good as for interview as well. But no, the whole process is all one, and there are various stages, and it is a generalist exam. It is not a specialist exam. It is not that somebody who is an engineer, he has to know in and out of an engineering, say mechanical engineering, but it is a generalist exam because society itself is filled with it's a play of number of fields of knowledge. So a proper candidate would be a right fit for that role would be a generalist only, who should know something of everything, and to an extent he should know everything of something, but greatly it is knowing something of everything, because that is the reality of society, right? And pipeline of candidates and exam process. So it is not that someone who is just 21 years age entering the exam is appearing for this exam. There is a spectrum of candidates and aspirants preparing from various backgrounds, coming from different streams, age wise, field wise, knowledge wise, social status wise. So all that, social status in the sense the kind of social background they come with. So we can see some fresh graduates from the colleges. We can see people preparing for years, for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years attempts, and someone who is already in the services like IRS, IPS, appearing for further themselves into IAS. So this is a kind of broad spectrum that we call, and there seems to be a pipeline, and that is the kind of stiff competition that we have. And to take time and give ourselves in the process is something we have to understand in the first initial stage itself. And ideally the graduation subject should become the optional subject. This is actually a statement by the ex-UPSC chairman, that what UPSC expect is that the graduation, say somebody is doing engineering in civil, so his civil engineering should ideally end up becoming his optional, and which has 500 marks, with which, because they expect us or expect the candidate should be thorough in at least one field in the field of their graduation. But the current system or situation is that people do their graduation in some field and end up choosing some other field, and therefore the process is delayed. And how do we know? The average age of candidate clearing civil service examination is 27, with an average attempt of 3 to 4. This is the data from the Department of Personnel Training. Every year the department submits its report to the President of India. So it's government data, which means number of years are being spent by people preparing for this exam. It ranges from 21 age to 35 age, like that, provided all the attempts and age limits and etc. So understanding this itself will give a good picture of how to strategize our whole UPSC journey itself. And the other thing is about the mindset, which is the bureaucratic mindset. It is also called the Madhyam Marga, or the golden mean principle, right? Because social reality is very complex. It is filled with dualities. There are multiple dimensions and perspectives of a same issue, and just to get into extremes will always yield a wrong conclusion. Therefore, a proper bureaucrat would analyze all the situation, all the dimensions, all the perspectives, sit with all the stakeholders and take a decision based on that, which is needed. And therefore you see the prelims, the mains, the interview, at all levels you can very vividly see in all their questions this mindset being tested. Therefore it is so crucial there. Now coming to trend analysis, see, every year approximately 10 lakh people appear for prelims, and half of them show up in the exam, and approximately 10,000 qualify for mains, out of which around 3,000 appear for interview, again based on the number of vacancy in that year. On the right side you can see the chart from 2014 till 2024, the number of vacancies released every year. There has been a dip during 2020 and 2021, and from then there seems to be a very satisfactory number, right? It's around 1000 plus. So understanding this, and how many people are attempting or appearing for this exam and preparing for this exam, what kind of success rate that exists, it comes around 0.1%. So this is a kind of stiff competition, and applying oneself fully, giving 100% and years, the youthful energy, it is all the thought process, the mindset, and this data and this kind of understanding will give a big picture of, first of all, analyzing oneself and putting oneself through the process of UPSC, and to be able to succeed and come out of it as a very polished personality is something one should understand. Now quickly coming to the preliminary syllabus, I have just picked it up from the UPSC notification itself, so that we are aware of what UPSC prelims syllabus looks like. See, UPSC paper has the prelims paper has prelims has two papers, paper 1, paper 2. Paper 1 is called GS, General Studies. Paper 2 is called Civil Services Aptitude Test, right? Basically in the static, the GS we study, right? We have static, which we cover with the NCERTs and standard textbooks, and we have current affairs, the current happenings that we cover from newspapers or editorials, and even magazines given by some coachings, right? We also many times fail to understand the kind of marking scheme that is across this prelims exam, and even the CSAT. For example, the 100 questions of paper 1 has 200 marks, which means each question carries 2 marks, and for an wrong attempt you will have a negative marking of 1/4 of the allocated marks, which is 1/4 of the 2 marks, which is like 0.25. And it is not the same for the CSAT paper. There are 80 questions, 200 marks, and the allocated marks is allocated marks for each question would be 2.5, and the negative marking would be 1/4 of 2.5, which comes around 0.67. Therefore, it may seem that 33% of minimum score to qualify, which comes to around 67 marks, is something very difficult to achieve sometimes. Therefore, strategizing properly what is the marking scheme and how many questions to attempt, which area, like whether to attempt on comprehension side, maths and reasoning, data interpretation, what is one's strength, where to score more within the available time, is all something more of a mindset and a psychological understanding than just preparing aimlessly for the exam, right? And as far as coming to the paper 1, it has very clearly given, UPSC has clearly given the syllabus, which seems to be a little subjective and very broad, but all in all, these are all covered in the standard textbooks. As far as the CSAT is concerned, the same thing is very clearly given. So, and they expect the maths level to be at 10th level. Sometimes it is seen that it appears a little difficult, but all in all, UPSC clearly has given as class 10th level only. Now coming to the main syllabus has, you can see, 3 divisions. One is qualifying papers, then the papers that is to be counted for merit, right? And there is optional subject, right? The optional also comes under counted for merit only. So, and the personality test or the interview comes in the later part. So the paper A and paper B are called, one is compulsory English and the other is as a language that is to be selected from the schedule, 8 schedule languages, whichever is apt, say Kannada, Marathi, etc. So, and for the GS1, the GS2, GS3, GS4, it has very clearly given the syllabus on a broader theme. Like the general studies first has Indian history. It includes art and culture, ancient, medieval, modern, everything. And the world geography, Indian geography, and society, social issues. Paper 2 consists of governance, polity, international relations, etc. Paper 3 includes science and technology, economy, environment and biodiversity, security and disaster management. And paper 4 has ethics, integrity and aptitude, right? And there is a separate essay paper also we have seen. Now paper 6 is called as optional subject, which I said earlier. Then optional subject paper 2, both have 500 marks. All the GS together have 1000 marks. The essay has 250 marks. So if you see, the total marking scheme considered for qualifying UPSC is all revolving around mains only. Generally, prelims ends up becoming like a screening test to allow so many candidates in the next phase, and the marking scheme is that is taken for counted for merit is from mains only. Therefore, mains is the focus. But sometimes prelims has become very difficult these days, so prelims has to be given its due importance as well. Now when it comes to mains on a very broad level, it is the combination of static and dynamic, right? We cover the static by NCERTs and the standard textbooks, and many textbooks that are available in the market, consolidated. And the dynamic part we cover with news, editorials, or Answer TV discussions. These sometimes we end up getting in some magazines or from coachings, etc. Now just I have given an illustration to understand how the syllabus has been planned. This understanding is crucial because it will give a big picture of what UPSC expects. See, as the society evolves, especially in our present context, we see there was ancient, starting with Indus Valley, Mesopotamia, all that. As the society evolves on the globe, there is always all fields of knowledge, they also evolve. Polity evolves, economy evolves, environment evolves, society evolves. So all this is captured, and the societal knowledge, social issues, and all this knowledge data is gathered. Now for example, I am in 2024, I am here, say, and the societal wave like this, the current status of the society, say in Indian context, has many issues. The waves of society and its issues with respect to polity, economy, they're all there covered in this syllabus. For example, the COVID issue, which was very prominent 3 years ago, is now is almost is not seen in the news, right? But some issues like the Russia Ukraine was there and it's still going on. It was a hot topic of the day. Now it is fading away, but it's still there in the news. Some topics like environment related UNFCCC COP meetings, they're all there. So like this, in every year there are social issues. At every century, at every eons, ages, there are issues, and UPSC tests people in that time to understand these current issues in the society and be able to understand them in a whole perspective and be part of the system to solve them, right? That is the whole understanding, right? For example, the UPSC paper setter, when it is setting paper, it will look into these issues that are out there, and around them they will ask questions. So this is all. So the so-called current affairs is all. So this is a visualization. The current issues will become a future's history, right? Like that. So if this understanding is there, then it will be easy for us to even predict what kind of questions can come in the exam and base our study accordingly. Because the kind of themes that are there, it seems that the knowledge is too much, the information is too much. How are we able to hold so much of knowledge information with our 250-gram brain, and to be able to hold, retain and reproduce in the exam as per the questions demanded is something seems very overwhelming, isn't it? But this kind of an understanding and a strategy and smart thought process will help us even predict right kind of questions and prepare ourselves accordingly. Now quickly coming into the broader themes and sub themes with respect to prelims and mains and how UPSC has planned, we have tried to kind of systematize these subjects. So basically the paper 1 GS has history, geography, social economic development kind of schemes, then polity, governance, international relations, science and tech, environment, economy and social security issues. This is all the part of GS. The same is being is divided into multiple GS papers, right? GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. And in the GS 4 we have separately ethics. Same thing in a different way in which mains is trying to test the candidate in an in-depth level. Whereas in paper 2, the civil services aptitude test, as I talked about earlier. Now, what are we trying to do via Pragyān Veda IAS is, we are trying to synthesize and systematize and simplify the prelims concepts, and it should become like a revision for candidates for the upcoming prelims examination. We are launching an initiative called Prelims Synthesis. This will add a lot of value to your preparation, and through this YouTube channel we are going to launch it, and make sure you follow them regularly. Now quickly coming into Prelims Synthesis, the thematic plan for Prelims GS paper that we are going to cover in this in this particular initiative is, say for example there is a broader theme of history, then we'll get into each of art and culture. There is literature. Literature is a sub theme, architecture is a sub theme, sculpture is a sub theme, philosophy is a sub theme, music, dance. So like this, on each of these sub themes we will create one video, and this can become a very good revision material. Once going through, you'll be able to retain in this memory and be able to recapitulate during the exam time. So like this, travelers, chronological orders, movements and struggles, religions, British rules and struggles, like this, all these are some mentioned here. There are many more. So we will completely cover 360-degree all these themes and sub themes. Same goes with geography, and the themes that are of our concern. As I said, we have to focus on the most important area of the 20% Pareto's principle, right? 20% gives 80% result. Like places in the news, climatology and monsoons, oceanography, vegetation types. These are repetitive themes from where UPSC generally asks questions. So these themes we have to make sure we cover. And the schemes, laws and acts which are important, which are appearing in the current news. Polity, committees, articles and schedules, judgments, exceptions, important acts. So these are some broader themes in polity. Likewise for governance, indices and reports, international relations, all the international bodies. For the science and tech space related advancements by India and world over. like USA, Russia, China, etc. Biotechnological advancement, basic sciences, and new inventions and discoveries, diseases and treatments. And in economy, we have microeconomics, causes and effects, macroeconomics concepts around which UPSC generally asked applied questions. Environment, we have environmental bodies, the COP, the IPCC reports, some key facts, species in the news, their vulnerability and protection, strategies by various bodies, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, addition, deletion, or modifications which have appeared in the news. Then important environmental acts. Likewise, security issues, defense and armaments, nuclear programs, exercises, bilateral, trilateral, or multilateral. So all these will holistically cover the prelims, and with which a candidate will feel very much confident to appear for the prelims. So this is our effort in that direction in the name of Prelims Synthesis. Now, just to give a quick overview side by side, the prelims CSAT paper, we have seen the trend. There are 4 sub-themes around which the CSAT paper is based: reading comprehension, quantitative aptitude, reasoning, data interpretation. The 2023 we have around 27, and you see the in the comprehension zone, and the number seems to be changing every year. You can see in 19 it was 30. So UPSC doesn't necessarily ask fixed number of questions from fixed section. It tries to keep it subjective, tries to increase and reduce, and that's the nature of UPSC exam itself. Quantitative aptitude we get around 30 to 35, 38. Reasoning we get around 9 to 18, so it varies a lot. Data interpretation, it varies too much, like 2 to 12. In 2022 we had around 12 questions coming from data interpretation, and 23 we had only 2, and hardly anything right in 19. So like this. So basing ourselves, although the questions and the numbers change, but the broader themes we need to cover holistically. So this is all just side by side with the prelim synthesis. As far as the mains Manthanam, for mains we have contemporary affairs, the issues that come in the news, in the magazines, in the TV debates. So we'll try to take one issue like that, try to thematically cover, and try to discuss, and in a very proper intro, body, and conclusion format based on the demand of the question, and it should become like a answer writing practice as well as covering the issues on a discussion basis. So this is such a wonderful concept, the initiative envisaged to help you add value to your preparation mains, for the mains, called mains Manthanam. Now what are the broader themes? And just before that, see, across GS papers in every year, or at least in 4-5 years, you will see maximum of 100 or a little more than that issues appearing. And if you can cover those 100 issues, then your preparation is very holistic. And we have these main themes, and the first 3 become the GS1, the second 3 become the GS2, and the last the third 4 become the GS3, and the last ethics and morality is our GS4. So likewise we will cover in a very perpetual manner all these issues, and this can add a lot of value to your preparation. It will become like a churning of knowledge, with which you can be able to retain a lot and be able to practice some answers, and be able to retain and reproduce in the exam conditions. And the last initiative that we are working with is the social thinker. It is an applied sociological analysis on current issues. It will be a very good value addition for someone who is of a sociology optional. At times, as I said, there is a lot of content on static side of sociology, but sociological angle and perspective based on current affairs, applying that static knowledge is a lot of time missing. And if you see the previous year papers, a lot of very current affairs based questions are being asked and asking us to give a sociological analysis. So these are some 3 initiatives called Prelim Synthesis, Mains Manthanam, and social thinker. And watch out on all these free initiatives to make your preparation a very robust one, and try to you know make systematic study program. Yeah, so this was all about the Pragyān Veda's initiative on YouTube. And yes, although the process takes a lot of it at times seems a very lonely process. Sometimes we call it as a slogger's exam, but at the same time we are also becoming rich in knowledge, becoming a very aware citizen. Although we go through a lot in this process. Sometimes we end up saying I became a philosopher in UPSC, but we are grateful for giving an opportunity to prepare for this exam and to come to the level of society and to understand the issues that plague our society and have perspectives, and be able to provide some solutions, and to view society in its true sense itself is so it's so rewarding, right? Therefore, and from Pragyān Veda side, we are like your friend, philosopher and guide, trying to help you through these initiatives. And watch on our free initiatives called Pragyān Veda's Prelims Synthesis, Mains Manthanam, and the Social Thinker. So I just put up this quote here: pain of regret is greater than pain of discipline. Yes, this is something which keeps us inspiring, and let us inspire us, and we inspire you. Thank you for your time. Yes, thank you.